Hi everyone, we should be live now. Welcome to Make Your Morning on this Wednesday. So just wait for a minute or so to let anybody jump on who's joining live, and then we will get going from there. So today's topic is all about fill your pail. Now, this is a concept that I've created through coaching with lots of different people, and it's a really good visual tool for us to use this kind of pail as a bit of analogy for different areas of our life and our life as a whole as well. So I can see one person joining me so far, which is amazing. So if you just type in the comments box and let me know that you are here, that would be great, or that you can hear me okay, that would be fab. And we'll just maybe give it another moment or so and then we will get going. So we're going to be talking about fill your pail for the rest of these sessions this week, because within the big pail, which we liken to your life, there's 6 smaller pails. So for us to try and cover them all today would probably be a little bit ambitious. So I'm going to talk about them throughout the week as well. So often in our kind of day-to-day life. Hi James, great to have you here again this morning, and thanks for tuning in. Good that the sound's all good and stuff. So so let's talk about fill your pail. So when talking with people, working with people and coaching with people, I noticed that over and over again there were key component parts that would be present or missing in people's lives when they would feel quite fulfilled, content, happy with their lot, if you like. And I saw them in different layers. So imagine your pail, imagine your life, and at the very bottom of the pail, so the kind of foundation or the building blocks of your pail are your health and also your relationships. So you will know if you've ever had a serious illness or somebody around you has had serious illness, that if you don't have your health, then nothing else works. So everything else kind of pales into insignificance, and the small stuff that you've been sweating over actually becomes really irrelevant, because if you are ill, and then there's very few things that you can do to your full capacity, or it's always impacting on your energy levels, how you feel, depending on the illness. You know, if you're actually able to leave the house, able to do anything, able to see people, whatever it may be in particular for you around your health. But within that health bucket, and we've talked about it in some of the videos so far, there's so many different key component parts. So you've got your physical health, which obviously, getting enough rest is important for. Nourishing yourself in the right way with the right fuel is important for. Getting exercise, taking relaxation time is really important as well. Taking our vitamins and minerals too. Not leaning too much on things like caffeine and alcohol. That's really important too in terms of your health overall, but that's the physical health. We've also got the mental health, and we're going to talk a little bit more about mindset in one of the other buckets. We've got our emotional, how we feel too, and our spiritual health as well. So how fulfilled do we feel in terms of that sense of purpose? And in terms of one of the other buckets in Fill Your Pail, purpose is also another bucket too. So the health being that kind of foundation building block there. Also mentioned our relationships. Now, relationships is a big bucket, because you've got, if you're in a relationship with someone, so that kind of intimate relationship that you have, which, is often, a key relationship in your life. You've got family, you've got friends, you've got relationships with people that you work with as well. And you'll know if any of these important relationships in your life are, at feeling like you're kind of at loggerheads with someone, or it isn't working quite well for you at the moment. You know how impactful that can be in your life. So these I always see as the kind of 2 foundation building blocks in terms of your own pail and how content that you feel overall. We've then got the middle layer, and in this middle layer we've got 2 other buckets. So one is mindset. So for those of you that have worked with me already, you know that mindset is really, really key in terms of how you see things, what you focus on, your beliefs, how we talk to ourselves as well. That inner dialogue, that inner self-talk is so, so key in terms of that mindset space. It's also leaning into a space of growth mindset too. So even if we can't do something at the moment or something isn't working quite right, what can we do to try and achieve it? What can we do to stretch ourselves rather than saying, oh, well, I'm just not good at that, or, oh, I can't do that. Actually, how do we stretch into that space as well? How do we look for the reasons why we can do something, or how we can work towards it rather than the reasons why we can't do it as well? So that mindset piece is really, really important in terms of the kind of fill your pail model. So is the fourth bucket, or pail as we like to call it here in Scotland. So that fourth pail is about your sense of purpose. So I've mentioned before in one of the sessions that sometimes people hear purpose and they think about, oh, my life's purpose, and it's this big journey to, or quest to find my purpose. And I actually think it's more about looking for purpose in our everyday purpose and what we do, setting intentions, being really clear on why we're doing things as well. Amazing book, Start With Why by Simon Sinek, if you haven't read it. And he just gets not only people and leaders thinking about their why, but also organisations thinking about their why. And he uses examples of a few organisations that are really connected to that sense of purpose and how they really galvanise their team around that why. So something to look into if you're leading a team as well. So we'll look at purpose too later in the week. We've then got at the top, and what I would see is the kind of icing on the cake, if you like, are the career bucket and also the financial bucket. So often when in kind of society, when people are thinking about success, they might be really focused on their career and where their career progression is going, and also how much money have they got in the bank. These I would see as the very kind of external factors, if you like, of your life. And for all of that to work and be in a positive place, we need to really build on the other four buckets first to enable us to be in the best possible place. So imagine this pail being like your energy. So when all of these little pails are topped up and in a good place, we're probably feeling in an energetic, alive, content, fulfilled kind of place. If one of these buckets isn't quite working, isn't quite topped up, isn't in the place we want it to be, it's probably fairly easy to cope with because the other five are working well. But it's when we start to see maybe two or three of the other buckets not working that we probably begin to feel a little bit off kilter. So what I'd like you to do now, and if you feel comfortable to do so, just type it in the comments box. But let me know, of these 6 areas in your life, so your relationships, your health, your purpose, your mindset, your career, and the financial side of things, let me know which of these buckets is an area where you feel really strong at the moment. So that you're feeling really happy in how you're performing in, and you're feeling really quite content in that area too. So if I look at, for me, probably the top one at the moment would be, what would it be? I would say my relationships overall. So I'm, in a really good place in most of the relationships in my life, and I really do put in the kind of time and effort in there too. So that's great, James, to hear that mindset is really up there as well. And it's one, I always think with mindset, it's one that we want to build and continue to build over time. It's a bit like a muscle. So if we suddenly stop exercising our body, if we've been used to training for a period of time, then the muscle will over time become smaller. And it's the same with the mindset. Actually, the more we stretch it, the more we learn new things, the more we challenge ourselves, the more we step outside our comfort zone and look at things in a positive way, practice gratitude, all of these great things, the more that we're going to get the really good results. Thank you for sharing that there. too. And what I would like you to do now is then think about what's the one area that you want to step into more. So as we go through these buckets for the remainder of the week, which of these are you going to be tuning into most? Is it your relationships? Is it your health? Is it purpose, mindset? Is it the career? Is it the financial side of things? So we've got a few minutes left, so I'm going to start to pick off the first couple of buckets here, and I just before the session wrote down a few ideas just to kind of share with you as well. So in terms of that health bucket, we mentioned some of the basics in terms of the physical health. So you'll have heard me before talking about drinking water, drinking 10 little glasses of water a day, 2 litres, to bring about kind of energy into your body. Getting enough sleep is really important. Doing some exercise, so doing some stretches. So let's just do a few stretches, bring some energy into our body. Here, so some shoulder rolls, a really good morning stretch can be good. Putting your arms out into a T shape as well. Bringing your fists in, clenching them, releasing them. Bringing your shoulders up, clench, release. Also stretching your jaw. So we often hold a lot of tension in the jaw area. So bringing that jaw down. Okay, so just bringing in stretch to your face as well. Really wiggling your fingers and your toes. So bringing in a bit of stretch over here into our arms. 2. So it's all these little things that we can do throughout the day. Google mood boosting yoga poses. Great way if you're sitting at your desk just to lift your mood a little bit. I often like to do jumping jacks, so I've got a little bit of a knee injury at the moment, so I won't be doing jumping jacks this morning, but just even to bring a bit of energy into your body. So a few ways to just shift it up, move up your energy there in terms of your health. Basic things though that will be a bit of a measure or a barometer for your health. 1 to 10, how much energy do you have? So if it's on the lower end of the scale, so 5 or below, there's things within your health that you can probably do. Look first to exercise and food. Look thirdly to your sleep, your rest, or you could actually move up any of them. You could look at sleep first, and then you could look at your food and your exercise. Those 3, start with them. There's probably something in there that you could shift up or change very, very quickly in terms of your health as well. Also, another really good question in terms of your mental health is, how do you feel? So 1 being as poor as you could feel or poor as you have felt, 10 being as good as you could feel, as good as you have felt as well. If you're anything on a 5 or a below, look for, I guess, ways that top you up, things that you do that you enjoy doing, people that are there to support you, and really to kind of bring that support into your life as well. So look at people who can help in terms of that health area as well. So we're coming up to the final part, and I'd like us to kind of focus back on this tomorrow if you join me, and it's the relationships part. So if in the relationships part of your life you want to kind of make a few improvements, the one thing that I'm going to kind of leave you with today is, in your relationship, rather than looking at what somebody else isn't doing or what's frustrating you about something, actually look for the good. So look for the good in what that person is saying, what that person is doing, and their intention overall. Look for what you can do as well. So rather than always putting the onus on somebody else, look for what could you change? How could you shift your approach when you're going to meet that person or speak to them? Or how can you put yourself in a good place? Because people pick up on energy, and if we're a bit kind of nervous or frustrated, or frankly just really in a bad mood with someone, they pick up on that energy just like we do if somebody else is feeling in that place as well. So what can we do to adjust ourselves to impact the relationship positively? How do you want yourself to feel in this interaction, but how do you want the other person also to feel in terms of this interaction as well that you're having with them, how you kind of communicate and connect with them overall? So we'll return to relationships tomorrow, we'll return to fill your pail. But the one thing I would leave you with today is think about, of everything that I've said, what's chimed with you, what's resonated with you, what could you do to just top up your own pail just that little bit more today? And we'll be back tomorrow at the same time. In terms of these Make Your Morning sessions. Thank you to everyone who's joined me live and to everyone who will listen to the recording. Take care and have an amazing rest of the day. If you want any other resources around Fill Your Pail or any other wellbeing tools, head over to karenbonner.com. Take care, everyone. Bye.